Everybody that is using WordPress for their website absolutely 100% needs an SEO plugin if Google rankings and sharing on social media matters in the very least to you. You absolutely need one. In this video, we're going to look at some of the top SEO plugins for WordPress, try to help go through some of the information to see which one performs better and also which one would best meet your needs. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress tutorial videos for non-techies. If you're new here, consider clicking on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell, and YouTube will let you know when I have a new video. Okay, so we're going to go over these plugins in this video, and I'm also going to do just some kind of a preliminary way of testing some of its performance in WordPress. But I think before we go into looking at these plugins, it's best to just kind of have a quick discussion about what an SEO plugin even does on a WordPress website and why you would even want it in the first place. Essentially, a WordPress SEO plugin is just going to give you greater control over how search engines see your website. It's going to give you control over how it processes the data that is on your website. It will also give you the ability to set the metadata for all of your content on your website. So a good example of this is here's a quick Google search, and when we take a look at it and we scroll down a little bit, you can see each of these links have a title set, and then they have a little bit of information underneath the link. This is called metadata, and with an SEO plugin, you're going to be able to customize what that metadata is for every post or page on your website. Now, with that is you're able to set the social media metadata as well. So that's if someone takes the link to a page or a post on your website and then pastes that in on Twitter or on Facebook or on LinkedIn or any of these social media sites, with an SEO plugin, you're going to be able to put in what actually will end up showing on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So those are some examples of how an SEO plugin gives you control over how a search engine and also these social media networks see the data and show the data from your website. Now, a lot of these SEO plugins also do some content analysis. That's where you are in there and it says put in a focus keyword, and this would be the keyword that you would like your what the content you're creating to rank for in a search engine, and it does some analyzing of the content so that it can also make some suggestions of how you might want to use that keyword a little bit more or perhaps in different ways. This is great for beginners. However, if you've had a website for any length of time, this is kind of rudimentary type of stuff, and you probably, for me anyhow, I don't use that feature in any SEO plugin anyways, but I do think it's fantastic for beginners. Next, an SEO plugin will give you the ability to control the indexing of various areas of your website. So a perfect example is when you use tags on posts, what happens is WordPress creates this tag index page. That's typically not a good thing. So with an SEO plugin, you can decide which tags or categories, even down to individual posts and pages, do you want to have these search engines actually index so someone can search and find that content on your website. And lastly, something that most of these SEO plugins will also do is create a sitemap, and that's going to be a list of all of your different types of content, and it's going to be all organized in a format that search engines really like to see and process. Now, most of these SEO plugins also have a pro or a premium version, and there's a pretty typical set of features that you would be paying for and expect in a pro version. One of these would be redirects. So what a redirect is say you remove or move a piece of content on your website. Well, a redirect would be something that tells a search engine, hey, we moved the content. It's not here anymore. Now it's over here. This is actually a very good thing and a very important thing for your website. Another typical feature that you would get out of the pro version is WooCommerce based SEO. So all of these things we're talking about, you could do that with product pages from your WooCommerce store. Another one would be local SEO. Another one would be video SEO. This essentially creates a video sitemap of the various videos that are on the various pages or posts on your website. And a last feature, you don't really see this on all of them, but there is one that you do, and this is white labeling. White labeling is great if you're an agency and you like to deliver the websites to your client and let them log in. White labeling's nice. It's not a license to resell, but what the plugin shows in the back end of WordPress, you can control the text there. A lot of agencies and people that are quoting website projects really like white labeling features. Now, there's a kind of a new breed of SEO plugin that has been creeping out. Well, they've been out for maybe a year or two, and these are SEO plugins that are kind of tied into a software as a service platform where there's an associated monthly fee. And these SEO plugins tend to offer a bit of keyword research that you could do from within WordPress or on their software as a service platform. So it ends up being kind of a convenience feature for those that don't know the keywords that they might want to target for the content that they're creating. And lastly, I want to give you some tips on how to decide which plugin you would want to use on your website. I think the most important first question to ask in that situation is, do you ever plan on purchasing the pro version? Because if you're not planning on purchasing a pro version, then you might choose one plugin. But if you were going to purchase a pro version, you might want to go a different route altogether. And lastly, what is the purpose of your website? Is it just a brochure website? Is it a website primarily about blogging, or you're doing a lot of blogging on the website? There might be some different selections based upon that as well. And I'm going to go through all of those in this video. So, okay, so let's just jump on into it and start cranking through these. So what I plan on doing is I have a WordPress installation right here, and I have these plugins here installed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate each one, and then I'm going to go to the front and do a refresh. And then we have this query monitor here. Now this website's running on my local machine, so the load time is not going to, you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. The only real performance indicator would be the amount of queries that get run when the page is actually loaded. Now, the largest bottleneck, this is the thing that slows WordPress websites down, is typically when these queries happen on your web hosting account. So that's when someone comes to your website, and then WordPress has to go to your database and retrieve some information. So queries is a decent enough indicator, but I'm putting this in here. I don't want to say that if one SEO plugin is executing requires more queries, that it's going to be slower. I'm just putting this information there. It's kind of hard to compare the performance of some of these plugins. So this is just going to give us one indication. However, I don't want you to interpret it as me implying that one of these is going to run faster than the other one. Okay, so when you go to WordPress, the WordPress plugin directory, and do a search for SEO, you're going to have a variety of plugins that come up. And so there's a couple of the market leaders, the most recognizable names in WordPress SEO. And the first one of those is Yoast SEO. And here is Yoast's website right here. And so Yoast is free. They also have a premium version of Yoast, and there's several add-on plugins to Yoast. Yoast is the #1 used WordPress SEO plugin for WordPress, meaning it has the most active installations out of any of these WordPress SEO plugins. Now, Yoast has been criticized in the past for being a plugin that may slow down your website. There have been people that have said that. I'm not saying that it does. I actually don't think it has a significant impact in the speed of your website. I'm more concerned with other things with Yoast SEO. So let's first share some of my concerns with Yoast. And so essentially, Yoast being the big 800-pound gorilla in the room, it's the one that people most recognize when you hear the word WordPress SEO. They think Yoast. Now, if you've used Yoast for any particular amount of time, you'll know that Yoast is constantly releasing updates. And if you look at the changelog, not a lot is happening in these updates. They'll release a point update, and then there'll be lots of bug fixes that next next week or 2 weeks. I think if you were to count it all up, my guess is maybe there's about 5 or more updates per month. These aren't updates that are really adding any significant feature, and that's because all these plugins, most of the feature sets, they're already out there. They all kind of pretty much do the same thing, and there's no one really doing anything additional to make one stand out over the other. And that's why one of the things that I'm going to be looking at when I compare all of these happens to be price, because a lot of these are doing the same exact thing. So then if they all do the same thing, one of the things you want to look at is maybe their reputation in the past, if there's been serious bugs or issues, and cost. Now, if you followed this channel for 2 months or longer, you know that I made a video about a month ago about a huge issue that happened with the Yoast SEO plugin. And that was in February of 2018, they released version 7, and there was a period of time where if you upgraded from a prior version to version 7, bad things happened to your website. And it took 2.5 months for Yoast to acknowledge it, even though people were asking them about it pretty much right away on Facebook and Twitter. It took them 2.5 months to acknowledge and come out with some kind of a fix. Let me tell you what kind of happened there. So what happened in this update is, imagine this right here is your website content. Now, this right here is some pretty good, pretty strong scotch, and it's Dewar's. You can see I've been pretty busy here drinking this. Imagine this is your website, and this is the content on your website. It is potent, it is strong. Google comes to your website and they see this and they say that is some good quality stuff right there. Well, if you updated to version 7, what ended up happening is, pretend this bottle of water here is the images on your website, and you've got some great images, and say maybe you might have, say, 30 posts of high quality content on your website, but you might have maybe 200 images. So you had this really potent stuff right here, and then what that update did was mixed the two together so that at the end of the day, after you upgraded, the potent website content that you had was no longer potent because it was now mixed with all of these images. Now, I know that's kind of an oversimplification, but you know, if I took a sip of this, it wouldn't give me the same impact as if I took a sip of it before all of that was mixed together. What I am saying was, if you got stuck with this bug, if this bug happened to you, you got screwed and your website rankings tanked, and it was a really bad situation for a lot of people. Now, this wasn't fixed till 2.5 months later, and the way it got fixed was you would have to install this plugin here that they released called Search Index Purge, and this was to purge out, so the example of the water, to purge out all of this water out of the alcohol. And so that's what this was here to do. And you can see that this plugin has over 10,000 websites that it's installed in. So this was a big problem. And I have a very difficult time with Yoast, and I don't think I will ever use Yoast on a website again because of this. A lot of people want to cut Yoast slack. The reason I don't cut them slack is because it took them 2.5 months to fix this problem, even though people were talking to them about it. Professional SEOs that monitor their website traffic, monitor their rankings, they were beating down their door letting them know this was going on, but it took 2.5 months for a fix to get released, and the way it was released wasn't even in a big announcement that most people were aware of. So it'll be interesting to see how many additional installations hit this plugin, but this is one of the reasons why I won't go with Yoast. The second reason is it's very expensive. Remember I said if you want to go with a professional version, that's one of these criterias that you need to consider. So with Yoast, it's very expensive. So all of their licensing is on a per site basis. So Yoast Premium on its own, it's not too bad. It's $89 per year per website. But there's other things that they kind of nickel and dime you on. You don't get everything for $89 per year. If you have WooCommerce, well, that's going to be an extra, I think it's like $69. Let me go right here to a list of all of the add-ons to Yoast. So $89 doesn't get you everything. So video SEO, that's another $69 per site per year. Local SEO, that's another $69 per site per year. News SEO, $69. Local SEO for WooCommerce, $129 per site per year, and WooCommerce SEO is $49 per year. It's very expensive. If you needed, say, just 3 of those and you added it all up, you're almost at $300 per year per website. Now, after comparing Yoast with other plugins, there is one area that they have kind of covered where you might want to consider, despite everything I just said, using Yoast. And that is if you have a blog. There is a feature in the professional version of Yoast that is really neat. And what it does is it analyzes all of the content on your website. And when you're, say, writing out a blog post, it will give you suggestions of other pieces of content on your website to interlink to while you're creating the content on your poster page. So if you're a blogger, that is actually a big deal. And that, to me, would justify the $89, that one feature alone. And this is not a feature that I've seen in any of these other plugins. So even though I was just criticizing Yoast for all of the reasons that you heard me criticize them for, here I am saying that this is definitely a great reason to use Yoast. But it's the only reason I would use Yoast today. And I'm sure eventually a lot of these will come to their competitors. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on plugins right here, and you can see all I have installed is the Query Monitor. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do a refresh. I'm not implying anything by these results, but if I do a couple refreshes here, we can see the load time's about 27 seconds. This is on my local machine, and there's 31 queries with no SEO plugin installed. So if I go ahead and activate Yoast like this, and you're going to see it's now activated, I'm going to go to the front end. So with nothing, it's 31. I do a refresh. It's jumped up to 49 queries. So it adds 18 queries to each page load. Now, this is not having tweaked any of the Yoast settings. There isn't a way of going in the back end there and disabling certain features that it comes with. If you go to SEO, you go to General, you click on Features, you can toggle off some of these features. Okay, so that is the performance impact of Yoast, whether or not your hosting is fast. I'm not trying to say that that Yoast slows down your website at all by doing that. I'm just showing you the difference in queries that actually occur on each piece of information that's loaded on your website. Okay, I'll go ahead and deactivate that. Now I'm going to get through the other ones a lot quicker than this. Okay, we have All-in-One SEO Pack. This is probably the #2 most installed WordPress SEO plugin. It is right here. They also have a professional version. Now, their professional version is more affordable, and they don't nickel and dime you quite as much as you're getting nickel and dimed with Yoast. So a single site license is $68, a 10-pack $118, and an unlimited license is $559, and this is per year. And it claims it's 50% off. I have a tendency to think that maybe it's always 50% off. But this is going to give you that WooCommerce SEO. It's going to give you the video SEO sitemaps. It's all going to be included in the Pro version. So you don't have to buy a Pro version and then buy 15 other add-ons just to get what should be in the Pro version. Okay, so this is all-in-one SEO. So let me go back here. I'm going to go ahead and do a refresh. You're going to see the queries from Yoast were 49. I do a refresh. It goes back down to 31. I will activate All-in-One SEO Pack right here. And let me go to the front end. I'll do a refresh. It went from 31. Actually, let me do another refresh. Actually, it didn't go up at all. So that is All-in-One SEO Pack, and that could be just because of some of the settings. I'm not saying that this test is saying one thing or another. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and deactivate All-in-One SEO Pack. All-in-One SEO Pack, it's really good. It's a good plugin. A lot of people prefer this to Yoast, obviously, and it's kind of neck and neck, just a few million installations, neck to neck, a few million installations behind Yoast. Anyway, so that is All-in-One SEO Pack. I'll have a link in the video description box down below. The next one is the SEO Framework. I was actually on this page here trying to find a cost for this. So there's a free version to this as well, and then there is a paid version. Now this is one of the simplest, no frills type of clean interface, easy to use. It doesn't add much bloat to your website at all. SEO plugins. A lot of people fanatically love the SEO Framework, and I think it's really good. Let's take a quick look at the cost of the premium version. And like I said before, what you can expect in a premium version. I'll click on Get License, and here is the price. So you can see they have kind of a similar pricing model for their pro version. It's not cheap at all. One site's $59 per year. But if you're say an agency and you have 10 sites, it's now $299 per year for those. And so that is the SEO Framework. And see the logic in what I was saying, that you really want to look at these things and say, am I going to buy a pro version? Because if you're going to want to buy a pro version, you're going to see that there's a better option for that. Okay, so this is the SEO Framework. It is fantastic. A lot of these plugins, they all do the same thing. Let's just do a quick test of that right now. So here is the SEO Framework. I'll click on Activate, and now it's activated. And I'll do a refresh. So it's from 31 queries back to 31. Actually, I don't know if this is lying to me. That doesn't seem too accurate. But we're still back at 31, so that's a good thing. So that's the SEO Framework. Now we're going to talk about some of these. Actually, I don't want to talk about Squirrely yet. Let's talk about SEO Press. SEO Press is one of the newer SEO plugins for WordPress, and there's a free version and there's also a pro version. Now, SEO Press is the one that's breaking the mold. So you saw the plugins I showed you the pricing, I showed you what you got when you paid for a version. It's all really expensive, and that's what is like weird to me about this whole SEO thing. I mean, it's not like it's your page builder or your theme. I mean, this is expensive stuff, but it's not really, an SEO plugin doesn't just magically get you great rankings. You still have to put the work in. And so you would think that the main tool of your website would be your page builder, but I'm finding all these SEO plugins cost more than your page builder would even cost. Enters as SEO Press, and this is where it's totally different with this plugin. So they have a different model. So they have the free version. It's going to have all the free stuff that I told you can expect from a free plugin, but their paid version is $39 per year. But that's not per website. This is for unlimited websites. So they are looking at this and they're trying to disrupt this whole way of pricing an SEO plugin. And this actually seems a little low to me. I've already talked to the developer. The price is going to increase to, I think, $59 or $89 at some point. Right now, it's only $39. So if you're watching this video in 6 months and it was $59 then, or $69, whatever, just make sure you subscribe to the channel because I try to keep you up to date on these things. But right now, you can get this for $39. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but what does it come with? Well, it comes with everything. So you get white label. And by the way, it's the only plugin I saw that had white label. I think SEO Framework might have it. You get the white label that I talked about, which is good if you're an agency, but you get everything with this. You get the WooCommerce SEO, the video site maps, you get just the list goes on and on. Everything that I said you could expect from a pro version, you get it all with this. They don't really hold anything back, really. And one of the things I really like about using this plugin, and I'll have a full tutorial on this soon, is you can enable or disable every feature. So you can, if there's a feature that doesn't apply to you, say you're not going to have videos on your website. Well, you don't have to have that enabled, and you won't see the settings for it. The settings don't get loaded for it. There's no extra bloat. So you can have the features on and off, much like I showed you with Yoast a moment ago. So here is SEO Press. Now they have a free version, and you can go in there and test out the free version and then upgrade to the paid version. I do have a referral link for this. It's wpcrafter.com/SEO Press. I just thought I'd throw that in. But definitely check out the interface on this one. The interface is beautiful. So let's go ahead and check that out. So let me disable the SEO framework right here. Now I just have the free version installed of SEO Press. So I'll go ahead and activate it, and we can go here and we can see it's got a very beautiful, very simple user interface. And I really like the user interface. I looked at Yoast. I tested every single user interface. I didn't like any of them, but this one is simple. This one is beautiful. And you can see right here is the ability to toggle on or off any of these features. You can just click this and turn them off if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, so let me go here, do a quick refresh. And we went up one query from 31 to 32, which is very minimal. So this is SEO Press right here. Now, lastly, I wanted to talk about those two types of software as a service integrated SEO plugins. So let me go ahead and deactivate this, and we will take a look at Squirrely. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Squirrely is because one of the subscribers here on the WP Crafter YouTube channel has brought this SEO plugin up multiple times. Check out Squirrely, check out Squirrely, check it out. So this is Squirrely. I'm going to go ahead and activate it. Now, remember I said it kind of merges in sort of a software as a service aspect for kind of usually it's keyword research. And so here you can see the prices of that right here. So they do have a free plan that allows you to do 3 keyword searches per month. And then there's some other typical keyword research type information that would come with that, like search volume to make sure you're going after the terms that people actually search, your competition, some social intelligence and all that. So it gives you this additional information that you can typically only get from a software as a service type of deal. So all that information's right here. And then the pro version, the first pump up is $30 a month, and it's going to give you more opportunity to research keywords. Okay, so that's Squirrely. I'm going to go here and activate it. There's some things that I don't like about Squirrely right off the bat. When you activate it, you got to pop your email address in, which I think is fine, except when I put my email address in, I didn't know that I was also signing up for a newsletter, and I started getting newsletter type emails. Of course, they're all legit. There's an unsubscribe in the footer of the email, which is cool. But I didn't know I was doing that when I gave them my email address. So that was just one of the things I didn't look. And there's some things that Squirrely does to kind of take over the user interface. It's not just Squirrely. All of this kind of category of SEO plugins are kind of going to do the same thing. So if I go into posts here, and then here's my post, you're going to see we've got some non-standard WordPressy looking stuff right here. That Squirrely does. So WordPress will look a little less like WordPress. Okay, let's just do a quick refresh here. 31 queries was our baseline, and then it just went up to 37 queries with Squirrely, which is not bad. So next is Web Text Tool, and if you have been on the channel since the beginning of 2018, there was an AppSumo deal for Web Text Tool in January of 2018, and this is another one of those software as a service integrated into the plugin. You should, if you did buy the deal, you should go and check it out. Now, what this is there's a platform on the website that you can log into, and that's where you can do all your searches. You can create your content and everything like that. You can do collaborations. If you have writers, they can write the content and put the content in there. And then anyways, then you take this content, whatever's written, and you can put it right into your WordPress website. And it does a lot of of that content analysis and everything, and you can do some searches and stuff within the plugin. But if you did buy this, you should check it out because they just redid the interface on the software as a service side of things when you log into the website. I was in there the other day and it looks very, very nice. Kind of the cost for this is about the same thing, about $15 per month if you paid annually, or $19 per month if you paid monthly, and it kind of gives you a lot of those squirrely limits. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up mostly is because AppSumo has had the web text tool on their platform for sale for a lifetime deal in past years. They had it in 2018 as well. They might have it again in early 2019, who knows. I know for me, I would prefer a dedicated keyword research tool versus having one that's kind of tied into the SEO plugin on my website. Okay, now with all of that said, what do I use? Well, on WPCrafter.com, I do have Yoast. I've had Yoast since day one on there. I am a little upset about some of the things that happened with Yoast. I expressed that earlier in this video, but I still have it. I haven't switched yet. I do have a lot of written content on my website, so I do like the link suggestions that it gives me when I'm inside my website creating a piece of content. That's a very useful tool, and that's why I said even though I'm being hard on Yoast, there is a great use case scenario for it. However, if I was building a new website today, 100% would be SEOpress. And I know of a lot of agencies that have been buying SEOpress because it just makes sense when you look at the cost of it only being $39 per year. It's rock solid. It has white labeling and it has all of these features into it. So on the next website I build, I'm 100% going to be using SEOpress. Now, if you're an agency, I would totally recommend going this route. Now, I just wanted to say, though, to wrap this all up, that, you know, the plugin that you choose, they all kind of pretty much do the same thing, with the exception of the professional versions and with the exception of Yoast and the content analysis. They're all pretty much doing the same thing. You can install and activate this on your website, but you've got to put the work in and you've got to use the tool, configure the tool properly. So what I'm going to do is, all of these tools that I just did talk about in this video, I'm going to have a deeper review and tutorial. Going to be partial review because it was already in this video, but it's going to be more of a tutorial on how to set that up the right way on your WordPress website. And I'm going to try to have those dripped out over the next couple of days or weeks. Now, if you're watching this video, just go ahead and look in the video description box, and I'll keep putting links to those videos inside the video description. If there was a particular plugin that you liked and you decided that you want to use so that you can get to the tutorial, you'll definitely learn a few things. If you're new to SEO plugins or even experienced, I'll definitely show you a few things about setting each one of these up. So anyways, I want to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Number one, did I leave any plugins out? Number two, was I too harsh on Yoast? Number three, after everything I talked about, did I leave out some bits of information that would be good things to consider when choosing one of these SEO plugins? And number four, what's your favorite SEO plugin, and did this video change your mind in any way? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.